You know exercise is good for you, but it doesn't feel good. So you don't do it, and your body chemistry suffers. The disconnect between intellectual knowledge and execution is not unique to exercise. It happens in all sorts of things. Now, since we've got such big brains, we imagine that our decisions are very rational things, that we seek out and collect the necessary information, that we analyze it, that we weigh up the pros and cons and make probability predictions and then decide. We can and we do this, but it's hard work. Something ideally suited to a big brain. But there's a problem with a big brain. It is by its very nature an energy guzzler. So our brain is wired to look for shortcuts. Calculating, deep thinking is not the default mode for making decisions. Feelings are. And if it feels good, well, we do it. Which is why you eat the piece of chocolate cake, even though you know that it is going to go straight to your hips. In the moment you tasted it, well, it tasted amazing. That is, it felt good. Aish. Now, for most sedentary people, exercise feels awful. This is something that the super jacked health guru encouraging you to get off the couch doesn't get. For them, exercise feels good. And even when it doesn't, they love it because for them, feeling awful signifies a big win. And big wins feel good in the long run. Aish. So they haven't got a clue how the non-exerciser feels, nor do they have any idea how hard it is to move when you've got bad body chemistry. Well, I've been on both sides of this equation. So I know telling someone to exercise more is often not that helpful. They would if they could. So is there a way to make exercise feel good, even for a couch potato? This is a question that a group of researchers from Iowa State University asked. And the short answer is yes. Join us for this episode of Better Body Chemistry TV as we find out how to make exercise feel good, even if you are a certified couch potato. Better Body Chemistry TV is brought to you by Dr. Sandy, a scientist turned gremlin buster, helping you battle sugar gremlins, heifer lumps, and other health horribles through better body chemistry. Remember, small things can make a big difference to your health. Now, psychologists have known for some time that the order in which you do something determines your level of enjoyment. Let me explain. Something that starts off okay, but as time goes by becomes not so great, is perceived differently from something that starts off okay-ish, but as time goes by gets better. So what does this mean for the average couch potato showing up at the gym? Well, climbing on the treadmill initially is okay, maybe even a little empowering. But 15 minutes in, when breathing is labored and sweat is dripping from the brow and various muscles begin expressing their shock and horror at the situation, it no longer feels good. Of course, it is at this point the exercise session ends. Finally, the overwhelming memory of the event is it was awful. Why would you do it again? You wouldn't. And you don't. Aish. but it doesn't have to be this way. Start hard, end easy. This was the scenario created by our research team using a fancy computerized bicycle. Ordinary, somewhat sedentary people were asked to hop on the bicycle and pedal up a storm, initially riding as hard as they could. The threshold had been set by the research team. After a while, they were allowed to slack off. That is, they did their exercise session backwards. Doing the exercise session this way meant that when they climbed off the bicycle, they weren't huffing and puffing, about to drop dead. Toning it down after the initial burst of activity meant the body was not quite as distressed when it got off the bicycle, and this changed its perception of the exercise session. Here you can see the results. The red circles are people who did their exercise session the normal way. The blue squares are people who did their exercise session backwards. The first panel shows how hard the heart was working in the exercise session. The middle panel shows how hard the person felt they were working. And the last panel shows how people were feeling. At the end of the day, both groups of people did the same level of exercise, but they experienced it differently, and they remembered it differently too. The team asked at 3 different time points, how did the exercise session in the laboratory make you feel? Well, the start hard, end slow group, which are shown in blue, definitely felt better about their exercise session when it ended, a day later, and 7 days later. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out who is more likely to show up next week at the gym. Exercise, if you're not so fit, is going to be hard. It's the price of admission. But the health benefits of exercise are enormous, and if you get into it, it does become more enjoyable. The trouble is, you've got to grow into it. By using a little behavioral science, you can make your exercise session feel more pleasant. Okay, maybe pleasant is not the right word. You can make the exercise session feel more tolerable. And if it is more tolerable, you increase the odds you go back and try again and again until it becomes something you actually like doing. Thanks to biology, it does happen eventually. So use a little science to grow into the habit of moving more and creating better body chemistry and better health. Interested in discovering more ways to create better body chemistry or need a little help getting your body chemistry on track? Visit our website at www.betterbodychemistry.com. Browse our library or enroll in one of our courses or programs. The advice is simple to follow and based on real science, not hype. Know someone who wants to move more but is put off by the experience. Share this video with them so they know how to make exercising more tolerable. And if this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you catch future episodes of Better Body Chemistry TV. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Remember, small things can make a big difference to your health.